If you're exhausted from doing all of the things, feeling like you're chasing money every month and feeling like you're a slave in your own business, it is time to build your income streams strategically, not randomly, not chasing one-on-one clients, not starting over every month. And there is an exact system that you can use to have a holistic business strategy so that you can stay in your zone of genius because you're not stuck on the terror elation roller coaster of being your own boss, because every month you know that you have guaranteed cash coming in. So this was a huge unlock for me. And I realized that most spiritual entrepreneurs, including myself, you can post content for years without making a single sale. It's actually very simple to do. I know I did. And there's only 3 things we're ever doing. It's only ever attract, convert, deliver. You attract people into your world, convert into sales, deliver on what you promise. But most spiritual entrepreneurs are building this completely backwards. Even though it's attract, convert, deliver, we build it in reverse. So deliver, convert, attract, okay? So you've got to have your delivery model set up beforehand so that you have somewhere to send them from your free content where you can deepen the relationship, build trust, and ultimately deliver on what you've promised. And I am not talking about a course here, okay? We're not doing that. Don't do that. Not yet. So the first income stream that every entrepreneur needs is neutral income, okay? Neutral income is your audience. It is the group of people who have chosen to be in your world, who see you as a teacher, who are interested in what you have to say. They haven't bought yet, but they will with the right offer and leverage. Your neutral income is your platform, like TikTok, Instagram, podcast, YouTube. And one of the best forms of neutral income, especially if you're a beginner or you're not creating that recurring revenue yet, is a free Skool community. Because what this allows you to do is attract ideal clients effortlessly, and then you nurture them for free. So they're in your world, they're consistently getting the vibe. There's so many ways to convert from a free community too. Some of my favorites are webinars, doing onboarding calls for new members, and these aren't sales calls. These are literally you getting on a call with the people who have joined your free community to find out where they're at, where they want to be, and how you can help. This allows you to create content that solves a problem, because most of us, especially at the beginning, you're creating content that you're interested in, that you think is cool, that you think people want to know, but it's so much better to create content that you know solves a problem, that you know people are asking for. This really serves as your foundational lead magnet. When I was just starting, I knew the importance of nurturing my people. I knew the importance of having an email list, and I could not, for the life of me, create an email sequence or an automation. It just felt so hard. I don't know why. It was probably mental block. I'm more of a speaker than a writer, but it just felt really, really difficult. And I realized that my content was really going nowhere fast. And it just can be very infuriating to know that you can help people, know that you have more inside to unlock, and not be getting the recognition and the sales that you know that you're capable of. And so a free community, you can set it up in an hour. That's what I did with Skool. And I set up my Skool. I ended up doing my first ever webinar that was messy as fuck. It was so bad. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I had that recorded. I'm sure I do somewhere. And only one person came. I had gone live on TikTok earlier that day, had promoted the webinar. He came to the webinar and he ended up becoming my first big client. And within 90 days of starting my Skool, I had hit my first 10K month. And all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, this shit works. It is so true that it is so much harder to make your first dollar online than it is your first $10,000. Because when you made your first dollar, now all of a sudden you have proof that you can do this, and then you can just build on the momentum from there. But we cannot improve nothing. It's about the messy, inspired action at first, and then we refine it over time. The second type of income every spiritual entrepreneur needs is active income. This is your one-on-one coaching. And by the way, this is how you build them. You build it in this order. So this is the fastest path to cash, especially if you're just starting out. You do not start out with a course, because nobody wants your fucking course. If your goal is to get to 10K months, which is what I hear from most of my my new clients, and that was my goal too. And now it's like when you get to 10K, you're like, this is really, just the starting point. So you start with the free community, you sell one-on-one coaching. It's definitely the fastest path to cash because one-on-one clients are intuitive. You don't have to have a course made. You don't need a whole program built out. You don't really need anything except your time and your energy. And I know that you don't want to sell your lifetime forever. Trust me, I know, and we won't. You won't have to. But the problem with courses for a beginner is, again, you're making a course based on what you think people need to know. It's almost like an ego boost. You're like, I know all of these things and I'm going to make this course and people are going to buy it. Nobody's going to buy your course. Think about it. When someone buys a course, how many courses have you bought where you have completed the whole thing, you've taken all the actions, and you've gotten a result? I'll wait. Because I know your girl has bought a lot of courses. A lot. The issue with a course is that it's do it yourself. So you can only charge so much, and you need a very large audience to sell enough of a course as a beginner to hit 10K months. People aren't really going to pay more than $200 for just a course of pre-recorded content that you made. They're really not going to pay more than $200. So you do the math. If you're selling a $200 course versus a $5,000 one-on-one coaching offer, which one do you think is going to get you to 10K months sooner? This high touch experience, it builds trust and creates results quick. So once you've started getting results for your one-on-one clients, you're learning, what do people need help with? What are people coming to me for? What do they need? What are the things? What conversations am I having to repeat over and over and over again that I don't want to have anymore? And then what you do is you duplicate yourself in the form of a video. So now when you're working with your one-on-one clients, you're like, hey, I actually made a resource for this. Go check it out. And now the things that you're making are things that you know are applicable, you know people want, you know people need help with, and you're able to not have that conversation before. That's how you make the course. And you can do whatever you want. I mean, fuck around and find out by all means. I know this is what I did. I created so many courses. I was talking to a client about this the other day. So many. I'll be looking through my Google Drive sometimes and I come back across these courses and I'm just like, wow, what a waste of time. It's not necessarily a waste. Everything adds up. It's always helpful, but you just don't have the street cred or the reputation or the trust or the credibility or the audience size as a beginner to sell enough of a course to hit your goals. So what we do, and I do with my one-on-one clients inside Spiritual Business School, is we literally decide what our target is. Okay, I want to be at 10K months, and then we reverse engineer a compelling and scalable high ticket offer that guarantees that they reach your goal, because your offer is how you manifest your external vision. It's really a magical thing. Offer's amazing. And I put together these prompts that are so fire inside Spiritual Business School. It's basically like having me and Alex Hermosi sitting beside you to make your offer. And what happens is you get this beautiful conversation with ChatGPT and a one-page Google document of your offer that allows you to sell it so elegantly. It's so simple. But you don't really need all that. You just need an offer. People are willing to pay a premium for your time because they believe that they're that much more likely to get results. And you only have to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of the person that you want to help in order to move them along, because if you're too far ahead of where they are, you're too far removed from their current present experience. It's so much easier to help somebody who's just a couple steps behind you than somebody who's 20 steps behind you. Your clients are always a reflection of you. They like what you like. They need help with what you need help with. And you can help them so much easily and effortlessly in a one-on-one container without having to build out a whole program. Okay, so I feel like I've harped on that enough. The third income stream that every spiritual entrepreneur needs is passive income. Now we get to the courses, the memberships, the digital products, the one-time offers. So like I said, the biggest mistake coaches make is trying to start with passive before you've built trust. The way that you make the course is, like I said, duplicating yourself in the form of a video, a download, a workbook, whatever it is, based on the work you've done with your one-on-one clients. Because think about it, your method is so powerful. It's so powerful to have your own method. It's magical, but you can't develop the method in a vacuum. Like, you have to actually have brought people through something in order to develop your method. And you just don't know, you're just really shooting in the dark if you try to do this the other way. And so it is. It's like I said, with passive income, you can build build monthly recurring income in the form of a paid Skool community. You could sell courses, you could sell downloads, anything that doesn't require your live time. So we have neutral income, which is your audience. Active income, which is one-on-one coaching. This is where you are trading your time for money. It could also be a salary. It's where it requires more time from you in order to make more money. And of course, we don't want to be tied to that forever, because then your income is always going to be capped by the amount of hours in the day. And that's certainly not what we want. But if your goal is to get to having a lot of passive income and recurring income without your live time, you build it in this order. And if you really want to supercharge this whole scenario, try using your human design, which is so cool. When you figure out how to align your design with your business, everything starts to shift. And the first thing you really need to understand is, and I go over this in the 0 to 40K spiritual business system, which you can get by clicking below this episode, but your aura type and strategy tells you how your energy works and what you're here to do. So I always start with the aura type, strategy, and the profile lines. So the way you use it is your aura type says what you're here to do, really. I look at the circuitry to figure out what's the ideal delivery system. So we have tribal, community, and individual. And again, you can just watch that 0 to 40K spiritual business system where I break it down, and it comes with a workbook that has prompts to analyze your circuitry so that it can walk you through the best offers for you. And because we're only ever doing 3 things, attract, convert, deliver, but you build it in reverse, deliver, convert, attract, your circuitry really helps you nail down your delivery system, which is so crucial, because then you're building a sustainable business from the start, which is so much better than not doing that. The profile lines are great for conversion. It tells you the mask that you're here to wear. So I'm a 4/6. I am here to share, to create connections. My network is my paycheck. My lived experience is my paycheck. And if you really want to amp up your conversions, start leaning into your profile when it comes to your content and your sales. Because when I started opening up and sharing my mistakes and sharing the challenges is when I started making money, because as a 6th line, the first 30 years of my life were total chaos. So it's really such a huge paycheck potential inside of your profile. So check that out if you want to learn more about how to use your human design to build a sustainable business that feels as good as it looks, and understand why it goes neutral, active, passive. We want to build an audience, a group of people, not our friends and family who are always going to see us as, the little, 12-year-old, but people who see you as a leader, as a teacher, as a guide, as an authority. So we start with neutral in the form of either Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and a free Skool community, because you can set it up in an hour. It's the simplest way. Then we go to one-on-one coaching. We develop our method, and we duplicate ourselves in the form of a course or a membership. And if you're listening to this thinking, fuck, I've been doing it all backwards, you are not behind. You are just building your own damn blueprint. If this clicked for you, stop guessing and start scaling. Click the link below to grab my 0 to 40K spiritual business system. You'll get the workbook, the trainings, and a complete step-by-step plan to build a business that feels like you and sells like crazy. Go get it. Mwah.